Welcome to the Express at the Vancouver Art Gallery. I'm Johanna Ward. 60 days of performance featuring Canadian and international artists. That's the Cultural Olympiad, and we have a sampling on today's show, starting with a project based on the controversial work of an American photographer.
The Edward Curtis Project, the play, is an investigation into the life and legacy of photographer Edward Curtis, who spent 30 years between 1900 and 1930 photographing Aboriginal communities. At the time, there was a widely held idea of Aboriginal people as a vanishing race.
Rita Leistner is a photographer who shares a subject matter with Edward Curtis, but her approach couldn't be more different.
We ask questions about what are the implications on a people that you're photographing when the message is that they're vanishing.
As part of the photo and performance piece, The Edward Curtis Project, she and playwright Marie Clements went on a 2-year journey photographing Aboriginal people 100 years after Curtis.
The first person I photographed was a young man named Jeff Williams, and I photographed him in regalia. I drove him home so he could get changed to go downtown and hang out with some friends. And when he came out of his house, he was a typical teenager, very fashion conscious, and was really dressed very cool. I was like, man, you look really cool. And he said, well, do you want to take a picture of me in this?
Rita's photography is the perfect complement to the play written by Clements and commissioned by Presentation House in North Vancouver.
I'm an excellent cook.
Seriously, how humble.
The writer is Angeline. She's a Métis correspondent that covers Aboriginal issues in Canada. She's had a breakdown and she finds herself in a state of darkness. And her sister has given her this book, Edward Curtis, one of his many volumes of photographs. And so she's influenced by those photographs, and they kind of enter into each other's worlds from that access point.
Despite the controversy over his methods, Curtis has always been admired for his artistry.
If you look at his photographs, you'll understand why, because they're still incredibly compelling, and they draw you into a world that you want to know. He went out to different nations to photograph and document people that he thought were vanishing. And 100 years later, Rita and I went out to see and to feel, photograph, and to write on what survival looks like.
I'm Erin Shaw in North Vancouver for The Express.
The Edward Curtis Project runs until January 31st at Presentation House.